Hi, my name is Jen Messina. I'm a licensed clinical psychologist and a corporate leadership advisor. And I thought it might be helpful to talk about a number of considerations for leaders during these times of uncertainty. And so part of my consulting practice is really around trying to find, to harness the health in individuals and in systems to help them actualize their potential. And times like this actually are an incredible opportunity to lock into the health that you personally have and the system. The first thing that I think is very important for leaders, especially leaders who are in a position of managing in real time some difficult decisions that may have an impact on the other folks who work with or for them. The first one really is anchoring in your compassion. The reality is this is a human issue. We are all dealing with great uncertainty. It has implications that ripple throughout systems, and everybody, you, the folks who work for you, have their personal concerns around this. They're concerned about loved ones. They're concerned about the world in general. And any ways you can anchor in your compassion, it's just going to make you a more effective and positive leader during this time. I think it's also really important to perspective take around the hardships that are very real, that the folks who are in your system are going to be dealing with, and to not lose sight of that. The last piece to keep in mind is that anxiety is an incredibly normal response during times of great uncertainty, and people react really differently when they're anxious. Some people get really cranky. Other people will really manifest their worry, and it will kind of come out in their behavior. Some folks might actually kind of seem like they go too far the other side and are sort of have like, are punchy and not taking things as seriously because it's a lot to process. So it's really just important, again, through the frame of compassion, to understand that the folks on your team may have varying responses and they may not all be their best selves in all of their interactions. I think it's very important as leaders right now to be thinking about how can you lead with a calm confidence. So first it's compassion, and second is this calm confidence. The reality is that lots of folks are looking to you, and they're looking to you to anchor in being reassured. And it is very important that you can show up in that way as much as possible. I want to caveat that by saying, I'm fully aware of how lonely leadership can be. And so don't mistake this for me saying that you shouldn't have a context to process your own difficult feelings. The burden that leaders have during times like this is great. Collaborate with your peers, seek support in your network, make sure you're getting what you need. And then make sure that what your team is seeing is you calm, confident, clear, in any way that you can be. I think transparency is very important. There is so much anxiety and uncertainty, and your team is going to be obviously concerned about the implications on your business for everything that is happening. And so where you can, being as much of a straight shooter as possible, it can really help to anchor in your core values like integrity, proactive communication, using the platinum rule, which is really treating other people how they want to be treated, can all really help you navigate this. So be as clear about how you're making decisions, and as clear as you can about decisions that you have made and potential decisions you're going to need to make, without getting too far out in front of your skis or doing anything that's going to create unnecessary anxiety in your system. At the same time, I would encourage you to not feel like you have to have all of the answers. And so as much as possible, you want to plan as far out as you can see with the information that you have. And then you want to walk it back and really encourage everybody to be dealing in the moment with what you do know and what you do have. And again, if you're anchored as a leader in your core values and how you're going to treat other folks and make decisions, people will be able to trust in that and sort of stay with you on the journey as much as possible. I also want to really invite you to anchor in and trust your future. So whatever got you to the seat you're in, you still have that. That is who you are. And if you can anchor in trusting your future and your agency to lead through this crisis, it's going to position you actually to do so very well. You want to plan for possibilities, but stay as present as possible in what you have in front of you right now. And again, do your best to make sure that you're taking really good care of yourself so that you can earnestly exhibit this calm confidence. There's sort of these two extremes that can sometimes happen. One is that folks can get really kind of an intense sense of anxiety that can make them, be reaching out to people a lot and creating some intensity there. Other folks maybe are going to lock down a little bit and not be as communicative. So your sweet spot's going to be in the middle. The third thing I would encourage you to do is to really encourage your managers to be as positive in terms of the human element as possible. So how are you all managing remote working conditions in a way that builds team, individual connection, is really anchored in the humanity of all of the individuals who are part of your business? I have heard a lot of fantastic stories around this, and again, there's tons of great resources out there in terms of how folks are maintaining team health in spite of the distance. Things like, having a Slack channel for everyone to send photos of their home offices, having a daily trivia contest, starting all group meetings with one interesting thing that folks have learned, over the past whatever period of time. So creating, using the structure of ongoing work as a way to maintain that human connection, and again, really inviting your managers to prioritize the human experience of the folks on their team. The fourth and last thing that I'll tell you is that I think it is very important for you to, as much as possible, operate with intentionality. We all have a lot of different ideas about how we want to be and who we want to be as leaders. And at the end of the day, it is your behavior that defines you. And leadership during times of uncertainty really kind of mark and establish who you are as a leader overall. And this is an opportunity for you to really be just the best leader that you've always wanted to be.